Hey everyone, today we're diving into Philip's family comedy. You won't want to miss this. Philip is a bit confused. He can't even recall the last time his wife said the word love. It's like their last for nights has become lead. He melted right into the postal family, always lively and ready to dash off to the fry shack for some deep fried gooders. Before he knew it, 2 weeks vanished. Finally, the day for Philip to return home arrived. At the farewell, Anthony was absent. Only piano music lingered, guiding like classical tunes. Anthony was deeply engaged in his duties at the square building while the piano played a silent story that everyone seemed engrossed in. When Philip stumbled upon Anna and her boyfriend being all lovey-dovey on the street, a twinge of sadness hit him. Philip returned home late. His son, like a panda, waited. He counted Dad's toes, made sure they were safe, then fell asleep. His wife made a delicious dinner, but all he wanted was to crawl into bed. She worried if he encountered any Transformers while up north. His wife urged him to spill his secrets, and several devious ideas raced through Philip's mind, but he decided to keep mum. He started trash-talking Anthony, claiming the post office crew was like a bunch of drunk Apaches, drinking so much they were reverting to the Middle Ages. His wife felt sorry for him, and Philip basked in her sympathy, like he'd just won a cozy battle. Sunday marked his return, and his wife packed him up as if sending him into battle, telling him not to get too emotional and to visit her often if he missed home. Philip felt a lot lighter, speeding like a champion racer at 160, only to be intercepted by a cop. The traffic cop saw he was not sulking, gave him a 4-point penalty and a $160 fine. Meanwhile, on his first day back at the post office, he watched a great soccer match. Fans were roaring and waving their arms like crazy, and Philip stood bewildered among them. But seeing Anthony so pumped up, he couldn't help joining the cheers. In that moment, Philip thought to himself that he could no longer hate the North. He was riding high as he prepared to head home. On his way, he accidentally bumped into Anthony's mom, and Philip hid behind a lingerie billboard like a ninja. He thought his perfect hiding was unbeatable, but next second, Anthony's mom stood before him. She meant to deliver bread to her son, but ended up assigning that mission to Philip, warning him not to let Anthony become a wanderer. That day, Philip asked Anthony to help him deliver a document, but he mixed up the dialects and thought Anthony was drunk again. No matter how many times Anthony tried to explain, Philip just couldn't get it. Until Anna walked in and saved him from a tongue lashing. However, trouble wasn't far behind. In the afternoon, a customer asked Anthony to stick on a few more stamps. But Anthony had drunk himself silly and couldn't recognize his own behavior. Anna noticed something was off and jumped in to help. She quickly took over, promising the customer this service would be free, then dragged Anthony into a separate room. At that moment, Anthony seized the chance to confess to Anna, trying to gauge her feelings. Meanwhile, Philip quietly observed their interaction. The next day, Anna's boyfriend took her to work, and Anthony, riding the same bike to deliver mail, happened to run into them. Anthony stopped to greet Anna, which irked her boyfriend, and before they knew it, a mini-war erupted between them. Tensions were high, and Anthony wouldn't hear it, while the boyfriend stoked the flames by mocking him for being babied by his mom. Ultimately, furious, Anthony kicked over a nearby motorcycle, and the situation quickly escalated into a duel. Hearing the ruckus, Philip rushed out to stop it and accidentally became the sole victim, ending up on the ground in a heap. Anna applied some pain relief cream on him, and Philip shook his head in dismay after hearing about Anthony's reaction. Turns out, Anthony never learned to say no. Once he started drinking, he lost himself completely. As their communication progressed further and became more profound, Philip stumbled upon a previously unknown secret, which subsequently prompted him to head to the central building to silently savor Anthony's performance. When he reached the top, Anthony stopped playing, looking like a student caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Philip didn't climb up there to play principal, but to encourage him to talk things out with his mom and loosen those emotional knots. But Anthony declined, insisting he must stand by his mother, saying she worked hard to raise him. Philip empathized, saying, "I love my wife, I can't let my weekends be a lie. What do I do? I know you're not married, right? If you were, why wouldn't your wife be here with you?" Anthony replied, "Because my wife is a fiery soul, and I just hope she thrives. She's passionate, but she shows up at the worst times." "Why?" "The worst is that she has to leave that city." Philip reminded Anthony, alcohol won't solve problems, it'll only complicate them more. Anthony invited him to play piano together. His tunes were odd, like exploring alien music. On Friday, Philip returned home, flipped the lights on, and saw friends hanging out, like a surprise party ambush. They were organized by his wife to cheer him on and share some laughs about his northern adventures. Yet he continued to belittle the northerners, leaving his friends stunned by the glaring contrast to what he had described. Suddenly, one of the friends burst out laughing, and everyone finally got that it was a prank. While Philip realized he was treading on, he finally found a moment to chat with Anthony one-on-one. This beach was Anthony's emotional outlet. When Anthony felt sad, he would come here to gaze at the endless sea, and his heart gradually found peace. After all this time together, Anthony and his colleagues felt thrilled to have Philip as their boss, marking a change like never before. Tansel o igrof etelda IQ that chibi a latitude 3C letter 4BB at pan sein is circumflex no a ag a or circumflex a quarter acute I am out or I am out at a circumflex I am out turn direct flex G circumflex divide by Z to all letter 3 £1.